When you built Smithfield, how old were you?
When I started Smithfield, let's see, I started in 1958. I was born in 33. Can you figure that out, Holmes? So that would probably make me 25. Well, I'm thinking when I started Little League. Smithfield came a little bit later. See, we started at the Half Moon Bay High School, which is now Cunha School. That's where Little League started in Half Moon Bay in 1958. It moved to Smithfield somewhere around 1964, somewhere in there. But when I started, I was like 25. And because I was a catcher, and because I liked baseball, that's why I just loved this, what I got into, because I really gave me something to do. And it kept me out of trouble. It was 2 practices a week and Saturdays. That's 3 nights a week, three times a week. You would have something to do with Little League. Any others?
Why did you decide to build Smithfield?
Why did we build Smithfield? Well, I think Smithfield, now you got to remember that I helped build Smithfield. What happened is I had moved down from Little League. I had gone to Pony League. I had Ram, who I've always been a great friend with, and I could get along really well. And he loved baseball too, and he had a child. He had a boy who was just starting to play Little League. He was like 8 or 9 years old. Okay, so he had a vested interest in it. My interest was, I just loved the game, and I just loved kids like this guy, because he would go out there and play, and he would do what I told him to do. That was the important thing.
It's always nice when they follow directions.
And the parents were, trust me, I had some of the greatest parents in the world. Whatever Bruno said, it's fine. It was fine. They do it, and there was never any, how come my kid didn't play today? At that time, like I say, we had to cut kids, and that wasn't easy to do when you had to cut a kid, say you can't make the team. In a way, I thought there was probably a lesson right there, because the lesson was you had to work hard, and if you worked hard, then it was up to the people like myself to take that and say, hey, that kid is really whether he might not have the talent as other kid, but he's really shown me he wants to play. That was a lesson learned. You got on the team.
Question.
Yes.
What year was it when you built it?
When we built Smithfield, Smithfield got built I would say about 1965. But I really, when Smithfield got built, okay, what happened is I got married in '68. I left Little League in '65, '66. See, I'd gone from Little League '58 to about '61, won the championship. Went to Pony League, and we had some great years in Pony League. Played at Smithfield, I would say 63, 64, and then I left, and then I came back and got a Don Junior. I got a junior team, which is 11, 12-year-olds, but not major, which I felt I could do better from that. And I got a lot of those kids, again, great kids. And I think if you show a kid that you know something and some enthusiasm, he'll follow you right along. So I think that was the thing to do. Any others?
How many people did it take to build Smithfield?
How many people did it take to build Smithfield? Well, I think, now again, you probably have to ask your dad that question, because he's smarter than I am on that. But I think what happened, Smithfield there was one field, that part of the phone company, we built it. We put up the poles, we set it up, and we put up the poles and put the wire up on a Saturday. And in fact, there's pictures of me on the Telstra on the top. And you want to know something? Pacific Telephone, they paid us overtime that day. That's hard to believe. They said, you guys go out and do it, and we'll do it. And I break up now because a lot of us, because we were involved. I had Manry, who wasn't at the time Pacific, and myself. I was still here on the coast, and they did it. And then from there, it's got to where it is today. I have no clue what it's going today. I'm going on and did artichokes and Brussels sprouts.
Why is Little League important for kids?
Well, because I think anything that there's a team involved. There's too much, especially today. I think today every kid is an individual. He's out there playing with he don't even need anybody to play with. He's got his own little self-practice. But when you get a team, when you know that you have to depend on that kid, in other words, if that kid's a bat, you want to win the game, you got to depend on him to hit the ball so I can get up. that's a kind of a team thing, okay? And there's plenty of heartbreaks for that, but without the team effort, I don't know where we're going today. I really don't. And I'm kind of sad, although I see there are sports today, but they're becoming more, they're almost becoming more, I don't even know the word, they become more professionalized. You know, like in high school, you play basketball, you don't play nothing else. You play football, you don't play nothing else. You play baseball, you don't play nothing else. And that's, to me, that's not what I grew up with. I grew up in Half Moon Bay High School where you played all the sports and you had a plan and you accepted the defeats because that's the way it was. Go ahead, that was a good question.
Why is Smithfield called Smithfield?
The only reason I can figure that out is the guy who let us use the land was Smith. He was a contractor. I don't know whatever happened to Smith. I don't know how that land is. I don't even know if the city owns that land now, how they even work that land. But Smith was a contractor at the time, and he let us use the land because I think it was Dolores Burns Brapati, I guess at the time she remarried, was the mayor, and she had some contacts with Smith. Go ahead.
Why did you decide to build Smithfield?
Okay, because like I meant to tell you before, the thing was so successful in Half Moon Bay that all of a sudden, instead of 18 kids for the first in 1958, well, we started getting 35, 40 kids. Now you can't have just one team and send everybody home. So they decided that they built Smith Field and have more fields to play on. And then I think after the first year in 1961, we started the Don Junior minor league team. Along with that, because the other guy had helped me, Rammy had a little boy, and they all wanted to play. So we started them, and it got very successful. I mean, the kids just reaped to it, and the town just reaped to it. I remember one time that the local editor, George Dunn Sr., okay, he was a great proponent of narcotics. This is in the 50s, saying this is going to be the problem with the United States is drugs. 50. Well, he wrote an editorial on this, and I thought, holy, Christopher, you wrote a whole editorial about what these guys are doing for baseball in Half Moon Bay. He thought that was pretty great. Well, it was, and again, it was a little different town than it is now because you had a lot less people, a lot less kids, but and you could probably do a lot more of what you had because now you got more kids, more ideas, more everything. Go ahead.
Well, that's all.
Well, that's very good.
Okay, I got one for you.
Yes.
What's the role of coaches? You got anything for the coaches?
For the coaches?
You got anything to tell the coaches?
I think the main thing for the coaches in the Little League area is fundamentals. Fundamentals, okay? A simple fundamental, okay, is to tell the kids, belt down, ball, glove down. Belt up, glove up. That's it. Use your belt as the middle of your body. And you try to catch everything. You use your nose as the center of the body. You use your nose as the center of the body. You want to get in front, use the nose as the center of the body. Now, if the ball is above the belt, you turn your glove up. If the ball is below the belt, you turn your glove down. That's a simple fundamental. But that's the thing that I think kids relate to because they learn from that and they find out that it gets easier for them. If they keep doing the thing wrong, then it becomes hard. Any sport becomes hard, and baseball becomes very hard. If you're an infielder and you don't get in front of the ball, it becomes hard. But if you start to do it the right way, it becomes easier. Then you realize, hey, I can do this.
Bruno, give us your closing thoughts.
My closing thoughts is.
Half Moon Bay Little League.
I think I go up by Kelly Avenue and I see the Half Moon right there in the corner of Kelly and Highway 1. I see the corner of the sign-ups and I look at that and I say, I kind of get tears in my eyes, really. I say, forgive me. But anyway, I look back and I say, wow, we've really come a long ways. We really have. And I admire the new people that taken it over. They kept it up. Because baseball's coming back, but baseball went through a cycle. Right now, it's going through this cycle. Everybody wants a run and jump type of thing and all that. but baseball will come back because baseball is a fundamentally it's a team sport. It's just I think baseball is on its way up, and I loved it. When I see that, I'm proud of Half Moon Bay. I really am.